Everyone, welcome to the sky this month for October 2025. Tonight is our annual general meeting, and as such, I'm going to try and keep it very brief for tonight. I'm going to try and burn through as much as I can, as quickly as I can. But it is October now, summer is well behind us, and we're full swing into fall. And so we will cover the night sky from tonight's meeting until our next meeting, which is November 14th. Now, as always, we'll start off with the members gallery, photo submissions by our membership. And I'm going to have to blow through them this month. Unfortunately, I won't be able to read off all the details of the pics that you've all sent me. But as always, keep sending them in. If you have any shots that you want to share, anything, any photos you've taken, any sketches, anything at all, as always, send them over to observing@amateurastronomy.org, and I will be happy to share them during my monthly presentations. So let's get into the members gallery, starting off with some images from Chris Shaban, which he shared last month, but I had to cut out due to time constraint. And here are some pics that he took over the summer. So the first one here, we have the Sturgeon Moon over the Vistula River in Krakow, Poland. That's a really cool shot of the nightscape in Krakow that Chris took here with the moon rising right over the river there. That's a really beautiful image. Another one that we have from Chris here is the Cygnus Wall in Cygnus, a Mission Nebula region. And just look at that beautiful, beautiful nebulosity here and the wispy dark lanes cutting through it and that rich, rich color that we have. This is a great wide field shot from Chris using his Celestron 6SE with a hydrogen alpha and an O3 filter. Another image from Chris is the Cocoon Nebula. I believe Bob submitted a great photo last month of the cocoon, and here's one from Chris. This is also taken using his Celestron 6SE and his hydrogen alpha with an O3 filter. And right there, of course, you can see the nebulous region here, the Mission Nebula. That is the cocoon, and that is a fantastic shot, like always, from Chris. Another one. Here we have the Elephant's Trunk Nebula, and he took this from Milton using his Nikkor ED lens and ASI 294 MC Pro camera. And that is a great, great shot. You can see that nebulous region all around here, and you can see the dust lanes and the dust clouds in front of it with the elephant trunk right here. And that's such a cool shot. Just look at that concentric ring that we have going on here. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Love to see it. And another one here from Chris. This is a really cool one. This is a shot that he took of Polaris with the Flare Nebula around it. It's an integrated flux nebula, which is surrounding the North Star that you see right here. And you have the Flux Nebula down here. Don't have time to explain the details of what an integrated flux nebula is. You can look that up yourself. But Chris took this one at Torrance Barrens Dark Sky Preserve using his Rokinon 135mm lens. And the final shot from Chris here that he submitted last month over the summer was the Iris Nebula. And he took this at Pinery Provincial Park using his Nikkor ED. And you have that beautiful reflection nebula right here. And you can see that's just such a moody shot. That's a beautiful, beautiful nebulous region with the Ghost Nebula right over here to the left. So thank you, Chris, for submitting those shots last month. And his final one here is one that he submitted this month. And this was taken on October 6th. And this is Titan transiting Saturn. And you can see right here, there's the disk of Saturn with the rings nearly edge on. And we have Titan, Saturn's largest moon, transiting across the face of the planet. And you can see this fairly regularly. You can also see this happen, of course, with the Galilean moons of Jupiter. A little bit rarer to see on Saturn, but that's a great capture from Chris. So thank you, as always, for submitting all those photos. On to our next member submission. Tons of them from Ken Leadham, like he does every month. Thank you, Ken, for submitting all these shots. Unfortunately, I had to cut out a few. I will add them next month in November. But this is Wolf Rayet 134, and this is a composite. There are 4 different images here. He said he was inspired by Chris's shot of Wolf Rayet 134 that he took last month. And so this was taken using his Celestron Origin, a few different shots that he took in June, different stacks and different process and different exposures on them. And I think he came out here with 4 really cool different images here that show you the different details you can pick out using different photo settings. So that's a really, really cool composite that he submitted here. Next we have Dreyer's Nebula, that is IC447. This was taken with his celestron origin on March 27th of this year, and 15-minute exposure. It's a very large reflection nebula. You can see in the blue color here with the dust clouds in front of it. Fantastic shot from Ken. I love that blue color, and I love the pinpoint stars and all the different colors that you have in here. Moving on to Mr. Bob Christmas, our EH editor. Bob submitted these photos just earlier this week. These are images of Comet A6 Lemon, which I will get to very shortly. Bob took these on the 14th from Barry's Bay, and 3 minutes total exposure time with his C-Star S50 imager post-processed in GIMP. And it was in Canis Venatici. It's a half and half blend of raw image auto-stacked in the device, and a version of the same image ran through the device's tool. And so this first shot that he submitted here, you can see the bright head of the comet with the wispy tail coming out behind it. And then the second shot here, a bit more compact with less of the tail, but a really cool shot with that green comet color that we're all familiar with here. So those are two awesome shots from Bob. Thank you for submitting those. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to have pics of Comet A6 coming up for next month, so keep an eye out for it. Take your shots and submit them to me for the November meeting. Finally, our background image for this month is this shot from Ken again of M101, the Pinwheel Galaxy. And this is 20 minutes of exposure with his celestron origin on July 18th of this year. And what a great shot that is of the face-on galaxy here with the spiral arms around it. Awesome shot, Ken. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your photos. And I appreciate all the photos from all of the membership when you guys submit them. Keep on sending them in because I want to keep on sharing them. I love what you're seeing. So that is our members gallery for this month. Like I said, unfortunately had to burn through it pretty quickly because we're short for time this month. But let's move on to Stellarium and do our night sky tour. So I have Stellarium set to Hamilton for November the 1st. Let's actually bring that back to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on November the 1st, about halfway between now and our next meeting, which is on the 14th of November. So let's start off, as we always do, with the naked eye sky, and we'll move over here to the west. So this is a few hours after sunset by now, and you can see the summer constellations down here. The heart of the Milky Way, Sagittarius and Scorpius and Scutum, have pretty well all set by this point in the year and this time in the night. Close behind him is Aquila and the Summer Triangle over here with Lyra and Cygnus, and Hercules and Corona Borealis are setting as well. It's really your last opportunity to see the summer Milky Way for this year before it disappears until the spring, because we move up to Cygnus at zenith here. And Cygnus lingers on pretty late in the year, but as I said, you get towards midnight now at this point and everything starts to set. So if you haven't seen any summer objects in the summer Milky Way, now is your last chance to see them. There you have Cygnus at the zenith and taking its place. For the rest of the fall, we have our fall constellations, of course, Cassiopeia and Andromeda, Triangulum, Pegasus over here, all very high in the sky. Andromeda Galaxy, M31, almost directly overhead this time of year. And moving down towards the eastern horizon, we have more of our fall constellations, very well placed now. The ones I talked about last month, the water constellations, Pisces and Cetus, Aquarius, and Pisces Austrinus, all over here in the southeastern sky. You can see all the objects that I touched on in September over here. And then your winter constellations right over here in the east on the horizon, around 9 p.m. beginning to rise. And by midnight, now you have your winter Milky Way coming up for its prominent place that it will take all winter long. Gemini and Orion, Monoceros, and the winter triangle right here with Cancer close behind it. Just before we skip over, let me move back a little bit here to 9 p.m. But just touching on those fall constellations right down here on the southern horizon on the 1st of November, 9 p.m. You have Sculptor. Sculptor is Sculptor Microscopium. These are these are better viewed from the southern horizon. They're more southern constellations, but we can see them obviously here from Canada at this time of year. Very low on the horizon. I just want to touch on Sculptor really quickly because it does have one very nice object in it that will be your challenge for this month. The Sculptor Galaxy NGC 253 right here. It's a very nice oblique spiral galaxy. Magnitude 8.0. The Silver Coin Galaxy, because it really does look like that in a scope, especially you have a nice big aperture like an 8 or 10 inch Newtonian, and you have some really dark skies and a clear true eastern horizon. You can really see that silver coin shape in it. So try and get out there and see the Sculptor Galaxy for this month. Again, you're going to need a low horizon, dark skies, but this is one of my favorite fall objects. It is a challenge to find, but man, is it a real beauty of a galaxy. That being said, I'm going to skip over the deep sky objects for this month because I put beginner's list in the EH article. Really quickly here, of course, we're going to go over. I've focused on this area of the sky right here towards the northeast. That's Perseus and Camelopardalis and Cassiopeia and Andromeda. It's chock full of plenty of beginner objects that you can pick out. You can see them right here. Very bright, very famous, very beautiful objects like the double cluster, the Andromeda Galaxy, M33, the Triangulum Galaxy, and you have plenty of others as well. Dragonfly Cluster, NGC 457, or the Owl Cluster. There's also NGC 7789. I touched on a lot of these in the EH article. Won't get into them right now. But yeah, for our beginners and any of our new members, focus on this area of the sky in October and November because there is tons to see. Lots of easy objects to find, and if you have a new scope or you're just getting into the hobby or you have binoculars, lots that you can easily pick out over here and you will be very impressed with what you see. So, again, skipping past the deep sky objects for this month, we'll get to the moon. Let's get to the moon. Because there's a lot going on with the moon and planets this month, and the solar system in particular. The moon hopefully doesn't move too fast. Let's see where it is. I don't know where it is on the first. Right there, okay. Well, there you go. On the first, there's a nice conjunction here with Saturn, but let's move back a little bit towards tonight. So on the 19th, that is October 19th, and we'll move to the early morning sky. Right there on October 19th, just before sunrise, that's at 7 a.m., we have a nice conjunction here of the moon and Venus over there in the east. That's a real pretty sight to see. Get up there, get up early, and you'll see that it's a great photo opportunity, a great binocular opportunity. That is the 19th in the morning. Now moving ahead with the moon, let's go to the 23rd in the evening sky. We'll skip ahead a little bit here. This is a bit tougher to see. You're going to need a nice true western horizon. But let's go to 6:30. Just after the sun has set. Very low on the southwest horizon here. We have the moon. Actually, I'll back it up a little bit. We have the moon, Mercury, and Mars. This will be very tough to see because it's right there in the twilight, right after sunset. Might be a good challenge. You might be able to see them again if you're looking out over the lake or something like that. But as on the 23rd in the evening, try and pick out that slim crescent moon with Mercury and Mars poking out of the twilight sky. Tough to see it, but if you do see it, it's going to be great to check out in your scope or in your binoculars. Let's get back here to the moon, and I put this into my EH article, but let's skip ahead to the 30th. That is October 30th, and later on in the evening around 11 p.m. you can see right here 8, 9, oh no, around 8:30. We have an occultation here. We have the moon with Deneb Algeti. This is the brightest star in Capricornus, magnitude 2.85. So yeah, on the 30th in the evening, let me get the exact times for you here. Nine o'clock exactly. You can see the moon pass right in front of Deneb Algeti. Takes a couple hours, and you can follow the moon across the sky, come back and check in right around 11 o'clock, and you'll see it poke out the other side. That's always really cool when you see the moon occult a bright star or a planet, so keep that marked in your calendars because that's going to be a great opportunity for our astrophotographers and for our lunar observers to get some real cool views and real cool shots of that. Now back again to the first. As I mentioned earlier, we have nice conjunction here of the moon and Saturn all night long on the first, about 3 degrees away. And then skipping ahead to the 9th and the 10th. We have a nice little triangle here formed with Jupiter, the moon, and Pollux in Gemini a little later on in the night, around 10 p.m. So that's another one to keep in your calendars. And then we'll skip a little bit further ahead to the morning of the 11th. Not quite an occultation, but you have the moon and M44, the beehive cluster right here, very close together. Oh, there you go, pops into view on Stellarium. Just about a degree apart on the early morning of November 11th. And so those are some events with our moon to mark into your calendars this month. Keep those all checked down. It's a very active month for the moon. And let's move on to our planets now. Again, the solar system is taking front and center on the stage this month. Mercury, we'll go back to the first here. In the evening sky, Mercury is very low for the next month in the evening sky right there. As you can see, just as the sun sets, Mercury is close behind it. We'll move a little ahead here. From the 18th to the 23rd, again, you might be able to pick it out. You're going to need a true horizon, and the same is true of Mars. Again, there's that conjunction with the moon, but from about the 20th to the 25th, both Mercury and Mars will be very low on our western horizon, right, and I mean right after sunset. Otherwise, not much viewing opportunity for either planet this month, but you might be able to catch a couple quick views of them. Let's go on to Jupiter here. And move until nice dark sky. So Jupiter is visible after about midnight all month long. Again, rises around midnight. And it rises earlier and earlier as November comes in and moves forward. So later on in November, let's just keep going with the days. October 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. As you can see, into November, Jupiter rises earlier and earlier. There we go, around 9 p.m. on November 11th. And it will be visible for most of the night, right up until sunrise. So great time to see Jupiter, great month for the King of Planets. And like I say every month, keep an eye out on those Galilean moons, because you'll see them transiting across the face of the planet, and you'll also want to keep an eye out for their shadows, because there right now we have what I assume would be Io's shadow on the 12th at 4 a.m. Of course, you can check online. Transits happen all the time with the Galilean moons, so keep an eye out for them this month on Jupiter. Moving on to Saturn. Great month for Saturn as well. not at 4:41 in the morning. A little earlier on in the night, we'll go back to the 1st. Around midnight, there we go again, near the moon. But Saturn is visible almost all of the night, all the way into November. Again, it rises just as the sun sets, and it's up until about 3, 4 in the morning. Plenty to see and plenty of opportunities. Like I said last month, the rings are the same, nearly edge on this month, and it's got its plethora of moons here that you can track over the course of the night, orbiting around the planet. Uranus is visible almost all night long in Taurus, well into November, and then Neptune is close. Is that it there? No. Neptune's close behind Saturn as well. Where is it? Right there, close behind Saturn as well, all month long. So you can see all of the planets at some point this month. Might be a challenge, but you've got Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. You can see all of the planets this month. Try and get out there and get some of your planetary observing done. Because again, solar system month this month. And speaking of which, let's get back to the comets. So of course it's all over the news right now. But Comet C 2025 A6 Lemon. Set now in November, but let's go back to its closest approach. Actually, we'll head to tonight. 17th. Right after sunset. So there you can see tonight at 7:41 we have Comet A6 down here in Canis Venatici in the northwestern sky. It's magnitude 5 to 6, estimated magnitude 5 to 6, or magnitude 4 to 5 as it gets closer. And I believe the closest approach is on the 21st, so we'll skip ahead right there. And they're right in the heart of Bootes. You can see it moving west across the sky between now and November. So, of course, that is the big object for this month. But right there, Bob submitted those beautiful shots already from the 14th. But it is getting brighter and brighter again. Estimated around magnitude 4 and 5. So from a dark sky, that's going to make it a naked eye object. Great binocular object and a great telescopic object. So keep an eye out for the comet. And then, of course, after its closest approach on the 21st, then it slowly dims out. But it's going to be around magnitude 4 and 5 for at least a few weeks, moving down towards the western horizon after sunset. And then we also have Comet Swan, Comet C 2025 R2 Swan, which is up here in the southeastern sky. And let's get back closer towards the meeting date right here, because it is brightest around the 21st as well. Starting off tonight on the 17th, there you can see it in the summer Milky Way right here, and it moves over towards the east as the month progresses. Magnitude 6.24, so not quite a naked eye object, but still a binocular object and still a great telescopic object. And as the month progresses, there you can see it tracks over and over into the fall constellations, getting dimmer and dimmer, but still estimated at the end of the month around magnitude 7, magnitude 8. Still a great telescopic object. So there you have it. 2 comets for this month. Try and get them both. And finishing off with the solar system objects, we also have the Orionid meteor shower, which peaks on the 21st as well. About 20 to 25 meteors per hour. So that night on the 21st is going to be a heck of an evening for us amateur astronomers. That is a Tuesday night, but we have the closest approach of Comet A6 Lemon, we have a bright Comet R2 Swan, and we have the Orionid meteor shower all in the same night. So mark that down next Tuesday. And again, lots going on in the night sky for October and November. And that is all I have for you this month. Let me know what you see. There's plenty buzzing, plenty to go out and see. Lots happening. Of course, you can come back to this recording. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And you can also check out my Sky This Month article if you missed any of that. But that is your Sky This Month for October of 2025. And thank you so much. I will see you all in November.